Remember Perfect Room? We all love that plugin. Sure, I did. Same crew, Denise Audio, brings us a new kind of saturation. It's called God Mode. Why it's different? Let's take a look. Hello everyone, welcome back to MixbusTv. Hope you're having a great day and stay safe out there. Before we start, check the info box down below for my mixing courses on ProMix Academy. A brand new one, Mixing and Mastering Modern Rock, is out there right now on pre-sale. Free plugins, discounts, special offers, and link to God Mode, the plugins that we are seeing today. If you want to support the channel, if the videos are helping you, you want access to exclusive content like members only posts, videos, live chats, and mix consultations with me via Skype or email, click the join button down here to see all the perks of becoming a MixbusTv member. Let's get to the video. Denise Audio really impressed me with their Perfect Room, a plugin that I really actually started using on pretty much every mix since I got it. And God Mode, this new kind of saturator, is as impressive, if not more. Even because we are talking about saturation, so that's kind of my favorite type of plugins. This one really is a different kind of saturator. It's not just words or marketing talk. It actually uses the old concept of push-pull made famous by Pultec tube equalizer. So pushing, boosting a certain frequency range with a given bell into the Pultec tube equalizer, and then pulling it back the same range with a different bell. This way you don't get the excessive boost in nominal level, and the tone of the material is pretty much the same, just warmer because have been pushed into the circuit and then pulled back. So let's see how this concept applied to a saturator makes God Mode a unique kind of saturator and distortion unit before going through all the controls and features. So we have this synth. You can select one band, just you would do with an equalizer, and with that band you inject saturation in, you push. All right, let's say this is the frequency that you want to enhance, but you can tell a normal multiband saturator or selective saturator would have this kind of phasey sound here. At this point, you pull back. And you hear how natural the saturation it is without sounding equalized, without not even sounding distorted or obvious saturation, which is what happens with other saturators. So let's try another frequency point just for the sake of the video. I'm gonna do the same. Let's say I wanna warm this synth up. All right, and once again, you hear how it's a mixture between a psychoacoustic processor, like could be max bass, and a regular saturator and an EQ. So it's really a combination of three of the most useful and used processors in modern mixes. I think this is a very clever design and it's implemented really well because, well, it sounds good. So sometimes there's a good concept, a good new technology, but it doesn't translate really well in mixing or real work. This one does. And take a look at the nominal level that we have here. It's pretty much the same, but this synth sounds bigger and louder. Pretty cool. We will try it on different instruments. Let's see, first of all, the GUI and all the controls that we have. So right at the top, you have the details if you want to really be precise for each node. So frequency, gain, and Q. Also, we have a live mode for recording and real-time processing. You heard when I click bypass, if live mode is not engaged, there's a second of latency. It doesn't happen with this. We have a split mode. It stereoizes mono signals. It delays one of the channels and make it wider. We will try that on a mono synth. And then of course you have the graphic here, and you have two sets of high pass and low pass filters. I really like this because it's very important when you saturate anything that you control your bandwidth, that you box in the signal that you're feeding to the saturator, because a saturation algorithm will react completely different if you send like all the bottom end, or you cut a 90, or you cut a 10K band pass it so it doesn't take space, let's say on the sub low end or the super top end that you don't need. Of course, if you automate these, they can be really cool to create filtering effect because they are resonant on vocals, on synths, on everything. We have a mix control, of course. So once you boosted, pushed, and pulled back with the pull knob here, with the pull slider, I should say, you also can control the overall mix, all right? So the dry signal with the processed signal. Then we have a pan for the dry and the wet signal. This is gonna be cool on vocals because with the split engaged and this one, you can create stereo vocal effects that are very unique. Then we have a makeup gain, and most important, we have 3 different types of saturation. We have tape, the same algorithm they used for their well-known and loved Bad Tape plugin. You can go full distortion with that. We have warp. And we have buzz if you really want to mess up with your audio material. And then if you're not sure what to do and you just want inspiration with this plugin, you have a random bottom. It just gives you a starting point for you to be creative with. So every time you click it, it's going to be on different sets of controls and at different settings. Which is pretty cool. Let's try this God mode on vocals.
All is erasable and there's nothing left here for you and I. Why do we even try? There's nothing left here. We lost our whole world in one night. Oh.
You hear how even at extreme settings it's pretty gentle and would fit in a mix, because that's one of the problems when you use distortion, especially heavy distortion like this on vocals. They tend to poke out of the mix no matter where you set the level, just because of the frequency, just because of the nature of distortion. This one is pretty smooth, and yet you have the full-blown distortion on it.
All is erasable and there's nothing left here for you and I. Why do we even try? There's nothing left here. We lost our whole world in one night.
You hear what a massive difference the filters make. The key of a good sounding saturation in a mix is always the filters. What you feed your saturator and what comes out, how you box in the saturated sound that it comes out of it. And don't be fooled by the super simple interface, which I personally like. It doesn't show you tubes and transformers, but this is a high-grade saturator, not just for the algorithm, but for this new push-pull technology. You can totally use this one on a 2-bus, so on your whole mix or for mastering. It's also very, very precise.
Mother, you gave
am exaggerating a little bit the settings to show you what you can do, but I find it particularly good for broadband enhancing of the high end and the warming up of the low range. It works really well.
Ain't no sunshine on this side of town. You could get lost and never be found. Fuck it, I'ma ride out till my fucking time's out. So I gotta make it, it's do or die now. And my soul is tainted, should've been out by now. Running out of patience, losing my mind now. Feel like I gotta watch my back, I'm a danger. Used to be homie, some changed up, hard working, not to say look, just caked up. I made up my mind, I gotta get the bag. Shorty, I am not the.
Well, it's pretty amazing how natural it sounds, and I love subtle saturations. And this one is more than a multi-band. It's actually an EQ-based saturation, and of course it can do all kinds of band pass and radio sound. I can do it here actually right now for a special, for a bridge, for an intro.
Hotter than the weather when it's beaming in July. But this shit make it better, bitch. I'm freezing in Dubai. I'm all about my cheddar, but no rats in my circle. Try to see the good, but the good got it worse. No sunshine on the.
All right, you get the feeling. This is great for synths, for messing up your loops, whether it's rhythmic bass, drums, vocals. I feel like you can do both refined mixing and mastering work with this, because it can be very subtle and it can be like an enhancing, precise enhancing tool. And you can also do crazy effect, any kind of crazy effect. Denise Audio is putting out really interesting products. It also has a side tape. You can control the saturation on one track by triggering the saturator with another track. For example, you can saturate a synth or a bass line, triggering God mode with a kick drum, a vocals, guitars, synth, anything. And I think this is it for this video. This was God mode from Denise Audio. I hope this video was useful. I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. Check the info box down below for links, discounts, free plugins, and my new course. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and please click the notification bell. It helps the channels a lot. Stay safe. See you next time.